Welcome to the video. This video will give you crucial tips and tricks for countering airplanes in-game. Let's start, shall we? Tip 5 is open ground. What I mean by that is literally positioning your vehicle in an open space. That way we can maximize the open space for target tracking and engagement. Watch how I engage this plane. You can try to imagine if I position myself in a closed space shooting this guy. We can also see how a building blocks the view when an enemy plane is on low altitude. But doing this tip can also get you in unfortunate situations, but also fortunate ones like this one, for example. Now let's discuss the disadvantages in tip 4. Tip number 4 is avoiding dangerous areas. Oftentimes, positioning in an open area is beneficial, but sometimes things can turn for the worst. Positioning in the open gets you more freedom to shoot, but it also gives freedom to enemy planes as you're easier to shoot since you're in an open. Just like this time when I failed to shoot down this bomber, which in turn gave him time to launch a proper attack on me. But oftentimes, when done well, this thing rarely happens. Since we tackled airborne threats, now is the time for ground threats. It is not very wise to focus too much on shooting down enemy planes. We should also pay attention to our surroundings, as enemy ground vehicles are also present. We should always watch enemy movements using the map as our guidance. Because when you lose awareness of your surroundings, this type of grave mistake can get you killed. Just watch how I failed to notice the advance of the enemy that it got me killed. Tip number 3 is effective range, which means we should wait till the enemy plane is within range before shooting. We know the enemy is within our range when the white circle appears. After that, all we have to do is do our best aim our shots in the circle. It is relatively harder to shoot down a plane when it's moving around a lot, and it is also a detrimental combo to have a slow-firing gun shooting it. But whenever this slow-firing gun hits, it does pack a punch. I'll explain it more in tip 2. But on the aiming, I might be doing something wrong. That was some poor shooting on my part, and good maneuvers by the bomber, but still, we reap what we sow. Tip number 2 is using the right shells, and different shells call for different actions. The best shells for engaging planes are HE shells, since when they contact with the enemy plane, they explode, unlike the AP shells that rip through the plane. But that doesn't mean that AP shells can't take a plane down, it still can. In rare cases there are also AP shells that contain explosives, which means not only they rip the plane, but also damage it more by exploding, like injecting it. Tip number 1 is using external machine guns in tanks or other vehicles that have one for countering planes. You can still take planes down using your .50 caliber or other machine guns. The best ones to use are the ones that are on top of the turret, since they already have a great view of the sky. But unlike vehicles that our sole purpose is taking down planes, a lock-on button is not present, but still, with a little skill and luck, you can handsomely take a plane down with ease. You can also apply the previous tips mentioned, like positioning in open spaces, for the best efficiency of countering planes. This is all for this video. I hope you learned something new. Goodbye.